Hilltop Farm. I'm Jay, and welcome to what I'd love to say is a wine tasting, but it's not actually. I'm just showing off our 2018 country wine vintage. I do have a drink, but it's coffee. Just coffee, nothing in it. Now, I'm dedicating this video to a wonderful woman by the name of Liz Zorab. She has a YouTube channel, and I shall put the link down in the description below. It's Liz Zorab by the Farm, and she has a wonderful small holding in South Wales, and she is almost self-sufficient with her vegetables, and she does very entertaining videos and very informative videos. And about 18 months ago, one of the things she was doing on her show, on her channel, was she did a video about making, I think it was plum wine. And she showed you the first step, and it was one of those where she sort of did one, set it all up, and then the next video was to follow so many weeks later. So she did this, and what she did looked so simple and so easy that I jumped in and thought, I'm going to do this. We drink quite a bit of wine around here, and that makes it sound like we're a mob of boozers, but we're not. We, as most of you know, we are Wiccan, and in our faith we have 8 major festivals a year. So at each of those festivals we drink wine. And we also celebrate Christmas, not as a Christian religious festival. We just celebrate it as a festival, as goodwill amongst mankind kind of thing. But we do celebrate it. We celebrate birthdays. So when you add all this in, there are days where we all get together with family and friends, and we have a bit of a feast, and we open a couple of bottles of wine, and it would be lovely, I thought, when I saw Liz doing this, I thought, wouldn't it be lovely to be able to have wine we've made, not just made ourselves, but when the produce has come from our own garden as well. Of course, being in Australia, we're fortunate enough to have be able to have an abundance of fruit trees in our kitchen garden as well as the vegetables. There's not a lot of things we can't grow here in South Australia, with the exception of tropical type fruit. But having said that, tropical fruit does still come from our country, it's just got to come from a different state. So, we're pretty lucky in that regard. I will start, I think, by telling you of our successes. We have had a failure. I'll be honest, we did have a failure. One of those things that sounded good at the time that maybe not when it came to fruition. Now, a lot of these, I must say, we have a particularly, not a sweet tooth as such, but particularly when it comes to white wine, I don't like any white wine that leaves any sort of vinegary taste in my mouth. I don't like that at all. So I'd rather have something a bit sweeter. So watching Liz's video, I decided, I'm going to just up the sugar a little bit. I don't know why I thought that. I probably should have just done what Liz did and then worked it from there. I also didn't adjust my sugar intake based on my fruit ingredients either. So we've actually had a couple of things that we haven't actually called wine because, well, they're just not wine. But I shall point that out as we go along. Now, this first one here, homemade berry and mango wine. That one's rather good. Can't taste a lot of mango in it, but it is there. You can taste it, but it's not overpowering. It's mostly mixed berry. But it has an after kick. You sort of swallow it and then count to about 10 and you feel it explode behind the gills. Now this one here, now this was the first one we did, this one. This is, we've called it a homemade strawberry liqueur. Reason being is because it is so strong and so sweet, you couldn't possibly drink it as a wine. It's the most beautiful strawberry flavour, but it is to be drunk as a liqueur. And you could do so much with it. My daughter even suggested putting a couple of tablespoons full of that in the bottom of a champagne glass we pour the champagne in for a nice refreshing strawberry champagne in the summer. So that would be good for that. It'd be great for using in desserts, you know, with a good vanilla ice cream too. But anyway, that's our strawberry liqueur, that one. This one was another one. This was the second one we did. And again, I was getting far too excited because by the time I watched the video, our apricots had finished. And I thought, I don't want to wait a year before we make apricot wine. So, what I did was we'd already stewed apricots and canned them. And I thought, well, I'll be sensible. I'm not going to use the sweetened stewed apricots because that would be far too sweet and I wouldn't know how much to adjust the sugar by. So I thought, I'll just take the unsweetened stewed apricots and use that as my fruit instead of fresh apricots. I wouldn't have thought it would have made any difference, but because it was stewed, I wasn't really sure. So I must confess, I did put a small handful of sultanas in as well. Just thought it might need something. And I would probably say this is one of my favourites, if not my favourite out the lot. But we've actually called it apricot brandy. Because although the sweetness is fine, it blows your head off. You have to be careful not to inhale as you're sipping it because the fumes blow your head off. So this is a rather good one in small doses. Here, now this one, there's a story behind this one too. Every Christmas we buy a load of berries because you've got to remember our Christmas is in the middle of our summer. So most of the berries are in season, and if they're not in season, you know, you can get frozen ones these days that are quite good quality. Anyway, we get them to put on pavlovas and to have fresh and that with our Christmas celebrations, and we had some left. So I decided, oh, well, I'm going to make a Christmas wine out of all this leftovers. So I added all the leftover berries we had. I think there was some apple or pear juice, I can't remember, I think apple juice in there as well. Not juice, apples. But then I put cinnamon stick in, I put some cloves in it, what else did I put in? Nutmeg, that was the other thing we put in, nutmeg. And we brewed that up, and that has come up a treat. But again, it's very, very sweet, and it's pretty potent. So we've actually called this one our Christmas pudding wine. And this year we're going to open this when we serve our Christmas pudding. I think the two will go together rather well. This one, homemade ginger wine. This again is another one of my favourites. I'm a sucker for ginger. I love ginger. And all we did was get root ginger and just grate it, and use that as our basis instead of fruit. We used that, and it's made the most wonderful, wonderful ginger wine. So if you like ginger, that's one for you. Now this is a pear and raspberry wine, mostly pear, but we had the first of our raspberries had just ripened, so we added some of those in, mainly for colour, I thought. But you can actually taste the raspberries, that sort of tangy, tart taste they have. You can taste that in there, so that's pretty good. We also have strawberry and rhubarb. Again, we were doing. It was when we did the strawberry one, the one that turned into a liqueur. We did this, but I didn't have enough strawberries, so it's about half and half rhubarb and half strawberries. Well, the rhubarb toned it right down, because as I say, I did them at the same time, whereas this one's a liqueur, this one is a wine. And you can taste the strawberries in it quite clearly, but it's not potent like that one. So that's rather good. Here we have a pear wine. I was quite anxious to try this because I'm quite partial to pear cider. So I thought, oh, the pear wine, that could be a good idea. And it's good, it is very nice, but I was a bit disappointed with it. It wasn't what I was hoping it would be. But nonetheless, it is still very good. Then we come to this one. And just so you know, with the demijohns we used, we got exactly 5 bottles of each of these, which is great, because we're going to be able to have one to sort of open and try them all over the festive season and what have you. And then there's 4 of each one in the wine rack that we can have through the year. You know, 1 or 2 of each one we'll probably leave to mature on, to see what they're like in 12 months, 2 years time, this sort of thing. But yes, getting back to this one, I only bottled 1 bottle of this, and that was to show you I had a brainwave. Excuse me, I'm getting a bit parched. I had a brainwave. I was thinking, what could we possibly have that would make a wonderful sort of cool, refreshing wine for, you know, a warm summer's day. You know, not too heavy, nothing like that. It came to me. I thought, what about watermelon wine? Watermelon wine, I mean, watermelon's refreshing. I thought watermelon wine would be delightful. I thought it would be a soft pink. I thought it would, well, I assumed it would taste like watermelon, I guess. I thought it would be lovely. And within half an hour of starting to brew it, we knew that this probably wasn't going to turn out how we expected. The concoction went grey when we started. Actually, no, I tell a lie. When we put all the fruit on, everything was fine. When we put the water and the fruit together to macerate, that was fine, and I think we leave it for 3 days, and then we put it in the demijohn, start the process. Once we put it in the demijohn and we added the yeast, it went sort of a pale grey, and it looked revolting. But we thought, oh, you know, wait and see what happens. And by the time the fermentation stopped, it was an opaque white. And I mean, when they all finish fermenting, they're all thick and cloudy. Obviously varying colours, but they all were colours that I considered to be normal. They were reds or pinks or a golden colour, or you know what I mean. They were colours you kind of expected wine to be. The white one had me floored. And of course, over time, as the junk settles on the bottom, they clear, and you end up with the products that you see before you. And you know, they're gorgeous. They really are absolutely gorgeous. This one, you can still kind of see, you can see through it, but it's not what you'd call clear. But anyway, it was the last one we did, it was the last one to be bottled. So by the time we got to that, we had a good sense of humour about us, because we knew we hadn't wasted our time, because we had all these bottles, 5 of each of these, that were all wonderful, very happy with them. So when we got to this, we pulled the bung out of the demijohn, and I smelt it. And I don't know why, but all I could think of was a carpet glue that I've obviously smelt once in my life. A glue that you stick down carpet with. Not at all pleasant. So I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound. So I took a mouthful, and it can only be described as tasting like wet cardboard. And it tastes like wet cardboard for about 5 seconds. About 5 seconds after you've swallowed it. And then all of a sudden, your mouth is overtaken with this overpowering smell, taste, I'm not sure what it is, of this carpet glue that I said it smelled like. It is the most revolting thing I have ever tasted in my life. And it's not like we put all the rind and everything like that in. It was just the pink flesh of the watermelon that went into the mixture. So I've heard of watermelon wine. So I'm sure there are recipes for watermelon wine out there that actually are for human consumption. Our recipe, however, is going to be shelved as one not to try for human consumption, but we shall keep nonetheless in case we ever need to strip paint off of furniture, as I suspect it will do a fantastic job. Or glue down carpet. I mean, who knows? But that's our disaster. So we'll forget about that one. But to Liz, I say thank you. We are about to start the 2019 production, and of course the best bit, we can start to try this lot. So very, very happy with that. Very, very grateful to Liz for showing us how simple it is, because I would never have attempted it had I not seen Liz do it, because I just assumed you'd need lots of equipment and that it would be costly and difficult, and yeah, and it's really not. It is so simple. So if any of my viewers want to click on the link and go across to Liz's channel and check her channel out, I'm sure she'd be very grateful. And any of my viewers who want me to actually make these and film it so that you can follow the recipes on each of them. This year, some I won't do again, some I will do. I'm going to try other things. Some of it, like 5 bottles of strawberry liqueur, are going to last us more than a year. So I probably won't make another one of these this year, but I might do one with much less sugar and see if I can actually make a strawberry wine, which is what I intended to do originally. So, you know, with some of them I am going to be upping and downing the sugar content to make those adjustments. This one that I made by accident, I think I will make that one again, because apricot brandy on a stormy cold winter's night just sounds fabulous to me. But yeah, so 5 bottles might not do the year, so we might have to have a couple of demijohns of that one for next year. Anyway, it's been wonderful for you to join me on this little review here. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a fantastic Christmas. I wish everyone out there a safe holiday season and a safe and happy new year. And until next time, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya.